Hey, and welcome to another edition of Rogue Gaming. This is a demo, a game that I'm looking very much forward to called The Last Exterminator. Very much inspired by the Duke Nukem games, which I have played, and I really want to like them, but I just cannot get over the controls. I don't know if it's me, I don't know if it's playing with keyboard, but I just cannot get used to the controls of classic Duke, even though I really want to like it. But this game, The Last Exterminator, feels very, very fluid control-wise. It's exactly how I love the feeling of these games, of first-person shooters. The enemies don't come out too fast or too slow. I'm playing it on easy right now because I'm just learning it. I don't really want to, like, die, during it. I don't want to make it feel impossible. I want to enjoy it and get an idea of what I'll be getting when I purchase this. And I will be purchasing this. I've already decided, I've told myself I'm definitely buying this. First off, I love strong female characters. Lara Croft is like my favorite video game character, so anytime there's a kick-ass woman in a game, I always give them props. I always give the creators props. I don't think we have enough strong females in video games still, even in this day and age. So, she's basically like a female Duke Nukem, I suppose. The story is very, very similar with the whole, like, apocalypse and the aliens coming down. But I think what this game does so much better, as I say, is the controls. I also really like the graphics better. I mean, we've come a long way when it comes to video games, so it's not fair to expect Duke Nukem to look like a next-gen game, obviously. But I feel like this game has that perfect blend of retro and new graphics. I love that old computer in the corner there. That computer reminds me of the computer that I had when I was like 5. The old Windows, whatever it was, 95, I think it was. But yeah, I love the style of this. As I say, the control feels very, very fluid. See, now, like, that building falling, I don't think that could be done in an older game. That looked very smooth, and the sounds, too, are very beefy and good. Gotta make sure to turn off the lights, save on electricity. It's the apocalypse, but climate change is still coming to kill us all. I think here, actually, in that little elevator sequence, I hope they add a little bit of elevator music, like that do-do-do-do-do-do-do, or whatever elevator music does, I don't really know. I also, I love some blood and gore in my games, and I know this is just a work in progress, so if I guess this is the moment to say any changes I'd make, but I'd almost like the blood to look a little more liquidy. Like, right now, it's pixelated, and maybe that's just the style they're going with. But if you ask me, I'd make the blood, a little more liquidy. I would forego a bit of that retro vibe in favor of realistic blood that splatters. But, that's just me. And, if the developers say, want to stick to their vision of kind of a 90s, early 2000s shooter, hey, I'm not going to blame them, because what we have right here is such a good example of a retro first-person shooter. The lighting is so good. The challenge is there, definitely, but I don't feel like it's overwhelming. Like, I feel like it's very well balanced. I love this room. The red with the alarm. When I walked into this place, I was reminded of the movie Alien a little bit. The Alien series, when Ripley's, like, running around shooting xenomorphs. Oh, that'd be so cool, an Alien game in this style. Oh, that'd be kick-ass. Something like Alien Resurrection, but a remake. This is a game where I could see myself getting sucked into it. There's another first-person shooter that I love that reminds me of this called Ion Fury. And I'd say these two games are similar. You know, I can't... I mean, Ion Fury is one of my favorite first-person shooters of all time. So, yeah. I don't know if I would... I can't put The Last Exterminator on that caliber yet, being that this is just a demo, but it definitely has the potential to be a great retro first-person shooter, one that I replay over and over. I really, really hope that this darn game comes out. I am, like, waiting with bated breath. I love the sounds of the guns, too. I think sound plays such a big part in video games. The way that the guns sound, and the explosions, and when the bullets hit the skin. And I think this game has hit it right on the mark of that. Really satisfying. Like, you feel like, yeah, like I just shot a frickin' bug alien. The guns don't feel like they have no power to them. I love that the main character complains about keycards, because that is... I mean, as much as I love first-person shooter games of this style, keycard collecting is just a part of that, and I realize that, but man, does it, it does get tedious. And again, that's no fault of this game. I mean, every Ion Fury, maybe my favorite first-person shooter, has that keycard system, so it's like... I can't dock it points for doing something that, it definitely works, and it gives a good incentive of, like, I don't feel like I'm running around doing nothing. Like, I like to have clear objectives in first-person shooter games. Like, I'm not there to... It's not Elden Ring, where I'm going to be sitting for hours exploring every cave and every... I feel like with a game this simple and this well done... Like, it's simple by nature, and I feel like you do need clear rules and how to beat the level, because running around, in a non-open world game makes things very, very boring. So I think this game has also hit that mark right of, like, you know exactly what you want to collect, and you know exactly what needs to be done. I like my first-person shooters basically like action movies. You're there for the guns and gore first. You're not really there to explore, and you're not really there for the story. At least when I play these games. I don't know how anyone else feels. But, yeah, I don't want to be running around my first-person shooter game wondering where to go. Because in a first-person shooter game, shooting... and movement are really the only two things that you're relegated to. I was really afraid here that I was going to die when I shot those. That's why I saved before. And, I still get lost in video games, even in games that seem extremely linear. So that's also partly my fault again. Like, I have no sense of direction at all. I barely know left and right. I love the look of the fire, too. That's like a good mixture of, like, 3D graphics mixed with, like, that retro aesthetic. I like the cockroach-looking aliens. It reminds me of District 9 a bit.
What's next?
Well, that was my gameplay. I cannot wait for this game to come out. I really, really hope I get to play this full game soon. Please, download this demo. It's so damn good.